Hi everyone, and welcome back to my online classes for 2021. Well, what a year we had last year, and this year is going to be a better one. I'd like to thank everyone who supported me last year and have enjoyed them that I'm continuing this year. So what I'm offering this year is all of my classes will be online, but I'll also offer a in-home one too as well if anyone is interested in that. Okay, so this month we're going to make this gorgeous little slider box with 4 little cards in it. So I've just done a few samples for you. So you'll get your box, you'll get the cardstock to make the box, and you're just going to have a little flower or whatever you decide you want on it. And then we're going to have 4 little note cards inside. So you'll get your note cards and your envelopes. These are just a bit smaller than a normal card. And I'll give you the extra cardstock inside too, because personally I just like to put that extra piece inside and stamp it. So these are just very simple but great little note cards, you know, to give for birthdays or just presents, or the whole kit as a present as well. So they just fit in there like so, and just fits very neatly over the top. So you can either do your stamping on here or designer series paper. So this one here is designer series paper, exactly the same, just the cards inside. I've just done a few samples so you can see just different colourways. I'll put them aside, and this is just another different colourway. This is your designer series paper that's in the celebrations. It's the free pack of DSP that you get once you spend $90, and this is just another one that I've made my own DSP as well. So I'm just going to put those aside and show you what stamp set I'm using. So this is a new one out of the January to July mini, and it's called Pretty Perennials, and it goes with the perennial petal dies. I'll just show you a few of the dies that I've used. I've just given you all the cardstock in your kit, so if you don't want to purchase this set, that's okay. You can just use whatever you might have. So there's lots of different dies in this one, you know, many dies and stamps. So I'll just put those aside. And I've also used the Painted Textures embossing folder. Okay, so let's get started. This is what you will get in your pack. So you'll get 3 different colours here, depending on what pack you've got, as to what colours. I've just tried to do up a few different packs and colourways. So I'll put a post on my Facebook page, and if you girls can actually post a picture of your finished projects, no matter what stamp set or dies you've used, that's fine, and it'll just give the other girls that have signed up for the class as well an idea of the colours. So you'll get a few pieces of cardstock for that. We're going to use this adhesive. So I'll just show you how you use that, so you can cut out, and it just sticks the cutout from the framelits directly onto your paper. So when they're fine, you don't have to use the glue. You will get your cards and I've just got these all set up, your cards and your envelopes, and you'll get an extra piece of paper for the inside of the card. So you'll get 4 of those. You will get your cardstock that I have actually put the size, so you'll know whether it's for the box or the lid, because there's only a tiny little bit of difference there. And this is the Bally Band, and I've put the size in your instructions for you, but I find I just like a little bit longer and bigger piece, and I'll just chop off, but I'll tell you that as we go along. So you will get a piece of plain very vanilla cardstock, and it'll have for stamping. So this is sort of what you will get. You will stamp all your images. You need about that many images for all your cards and the box. So I just sort of pre-did that. You don't need to see me stamp. And then with the framelits, I've cut out lots of all these little bits and pieces so I can decorate the cards, and that's just showing you how much I've cut out. And this little piece is like, you'll see on your instructions, it'll say either cardstock to stamp on to do your actual belly band, like this belly band here, this big one that goes right round. That's what we're going to stamp. It'll say cardstock or DSP, so that's what this piece is for, and these are just the little bits for the decoration. And that's about it. So I'll just make room and we'll get started. So you will need your trimmer because we need the scorer. I'll just put these out of the way so I don't lose them, because we will need them all. So it'll say your box or the bottom or something, and it's 10 inches by 6 1/4. So that's the first bit we're going to use. And we'll bring in our trimmer. And we're going to place the longest piece up the top. Make sure you haven't got your cutting blade, you've got your scoring blade. So the first, I've got written on your instructions, you know, the long side at the top. So the first one is 1 inch. So I'm just going to lift that up and put it down on the inch. I don't want that one. I want my scoring blade. So we're going to score at 1 inch, 4 3/4, 5 3/4, and 9 1/2. Not sure whether you can see that. I'm out of there. 9 1/2. And score. Now we're just going to turn 90 degrees and we're going to score down. I'll bring it back in view for you. Score down 1 inch. 1 inch down this way. So I'm going to make each box one at a time, just so you get to see what I'm doing. So we've got all our score lines. So now we're just going to burnish all of those. Just get your bone folder and burnish along each of those fold lines. And turn up this. Okay, so now you're going to get your snips. So what we're going to do, you've got this little piece this side and your bigger one. It's this little piece that we're going to chop out. So you're just going to cut right up near your score line. Just cut that out, turn and cut that. So we want that piece gone all together. Now we're just cutting up to the inch mark, and what I do is just cut that burnished mark out, so it just gives you a tiny little V. So we just like pull out that tiny little V. So we're going to do that on all of these. Pull that out. So this creates our box. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. I'm not sure whether any of you have bought any Stampin' Seal. So we've got Stampin' Seal and Stampin' Seal Plus. So the Stampin' Seal Plus are for the really strong, it's a strong adhesive, and it's for your 3D projects and your boxes. So all I'm going to do is put it down this side. Sometimes I go a little bit crooked. So I'm just going to run it along here. You just run it all the way down, and then you just stop and lift, and that's as easy as that is. So we're just going to fold that over, and then we're just going to fold in the bottoms, and it doesn't matter which way. So you've got your seam on this side, so it'd be nice to bring it back so all your folds are folding away from each other and it's neater. And then I just run along here and lift. So just fold, and that's as simple as your box is. So now we're going to get our 2.5 inch circle punch, and we're just going to slip that into our box. Just centre it about halfway. I'm not sure whether I'm quite in the centre. Bang. And then we're just going to slip it in here and do the other side. And that just gives us, so when we put our cards in, it's nice and easy to be able to pull out all our cards. So that's the first box. I'll bring our my trimmer back in, just move things out of the way a bit here, and bring the lid part in. So our lid part is 10 1/4 by 6 5/16. You'll be thinking, why does she have to use such little measurements? But it just makes the box a little bit, it just makes it nice and firm. The lid's just a little bit bigger for the base and just fits nice and snugly. Just put that aside. So with that piece, we're going to put the long piece at the top, and we're going to score, I'm just looking at my measurements here, is 1 1/16. So here's your 1 and this is your 1/16. Put that down and score. Then we're going to be 4 7/8. So that's just the 1 before the 5. 4 7/8. Then 5 15/16. So that's one tiny little one before the 6 inch mark. And then 9 13/16. So 16, 15, 14, 13. I'll just bring that in so you can see here. And then we're going to turn that as well and do it at 1 inch. Just bring it over so you can see it. And 1 inch up there. Just put that aside again. And bring in our bone folder again, and we're going to burnish all our score lines. So very similar to the first one, it's just slightly different measurements. Okay, so our scissors again, we're just going to cut that little bit out. I just do a tiny little V, just makes it easier to see. Just cut this score line out. And just assemble this box exactly the same way. Bring in your stamp and seal or your tear and tape, whichever. You can see that I've gone crooked there. If you do that, I just bend it back over. It's hard sort of with the camera above your head. Just fold that over. So we've got that, and we're just going to make it exactly the same. Put your 2 side pieces in, and so I'm going to put some tape along this one. So there's that box. So this time we're just going to bring in our 1 inch circle punch and just going to eyeball it to hopefully the centre and just do exactly the same and just slip it in, and that just gives you your little cut so it's easy to pull the box out. So we'll put all them aside for the minute. I better show you, hopefully it'll fit in, and it just fits in nicely like so. Nice firm fit. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our piece that we're going to do our belly band on. So this can either be your piece of cardstock that you're going to stamp yourself or your DSP. So because we've used Very Vanilla, no DSP went with the Very Vanilla, and because it was hard, that Stampin' Up! Had to change places where they got their Whisper White cardstock from. You know, we were out of stock of Whisper White, lots of Whisper White things, so that's why we're using vanilla. That's fine, it's no issue. We're going to make our own DSP. So all the colours that I'm using, I'll go through those for you. I'm using Cherry Cobbler, Mango Melody, Terracotta Tile and Garden Green. So we're just going to do a few different, I'll just open these to make it a little bit quicker. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the biggest flower, and it doesn't matter where you stamp, it's just a matter of getting ink onto the paper. Just wherever you like. And filling in the bits. So now I'll bring in the next one. I'm going to use the Cherry Cobbler. There's no right or wrong, it's just we're going to fill in the gaps. And I might just use a different colour. I'll just clean off this stamp. Bit of Terracotta Tile. And it's good just to like stamp half images as well, or just a little bit of the corner. Fit one in there, another one up there. Okay, I'll clean that off. Now I'm just going to bring in the little flower. I'll do a few little ones. Dark over here, we'll get a bit of light in there. Because I'm going light to dark, I don't have to clean off. Break that up a bit. So now I'm going to get some leaves. Just on these little ones. Just got to juggle them around a little bit where they might fit. And you can see it taking place and filling in quite nicely. And a lot of it's going to be covered up with decoration anyway. And I'll bring a bigger one in for the bigger flowers. I'll put that one up there. And I reckon that's just about enough. So I'll just move those out of the road and bring in the Memento Black. We just do a few little centres. So I'll just bring in the centres. We'll fill in the starts to bring the flowers to life. The next centre. And even the tiny little one. Oops, it's looks like it needs a clean. There's one more, missed one. Okay, so that's finished. Now we're going to score that. I'll just bring the trimmer back in. We're going to put it up the top again. So this piece we're making sure the long bit's up the top, and we're going to score it at 1 1/16. Just making sure it's the right piece of paper. 4, then score at 1 1/16 with our scorer, and 4 7/8. Then 5 15/16. So that's that last little one here. And 9 13/16. So I'll bring that back into the picture so you can see. So 16, 15, 14, 13. And score that. Just put that aside now. And bring in our bone folder once again. And burnish those score lines. And this last one. So what I like to do now is put my box together. Just gives you a little bit more stable to work with. So this is entirely up to you where you put it. You can put it right up the top, like this one, right up the top, or you can bring it down, whichever way you want to do it. So I'm just going to wrap it round here first. So it goes to here, and you're going to go over, and you want it to be a very firm fit. This is not going to come off, it's not going to slide or anything. This is the total decoration. So what I like to do is put some Seal and Plus down here and get it to where you want it. I'm going to have a little bit at the top and just stick that piece on. And then I'm going to put a little bit of Seal and Plus over here. I want a little bit more right to that edge. And then I also, with my Tombow, I just put a little bit at the edges here. You don't want it to squirt out, so just be a little bit careful. You can put a bit down the middle if you want, because this is not going to come off, so it's okay. This just gives us a little bit of manoeuvring room to get it lined up with that, so it's nice and straight. I'll go around this way because I'm all fingers the other way. Getting it tight and getting that straight. And then just rub along those edges. So that's that belly band there. And now this is where we're going to bring in this long piece. So it's 1.5 inches wide, and the instructions will tell you, I think it's 10.5 inches long. Where I've just left this, and what's also in your kit is the full length of the A4 cardstock. I find it this much easier than cutting it right down to the right size, and all I do is just measure it like this. This is how I fold it. Just manually bend it really. And this one's not going to come off either, so it's totally up to you where you want to put it. I'll just bring it down a little bit. And then once you've got the bends, take it off and use your bone folder just to make them nice and sharp. Because as you build up layers on your box, the box just gets that fraction thicker, and the measurements that you put on your instructions, to me they're just a tiny little bit out. So if you just fold it around your box like that, you get that nice thick and right where you want it. So first off, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in this centre bit, and that will just hold it in place and give me time to manoeuvre where I want it to go. I don't want it on that side, sorry, that's my back. I could see the seam. Put it here and bring it round. So I'm going to stick that one first. So now I'm just going to put some Tombow here. And stick this one down. Oops. I just want it to be straight. Get that one. And then you can cut a little bit of this off if you want. I'm just going to cut it down here with my snips. And then glue this side. Just go a little bit closer to the edge for that one, because we want it to stick nicely down here. So we're just going to, so you can just manoeuvre it a little bit with your Tombow. So it'll just be straight. You could do this one on the front and cover it with your flowers if you like, but it's just as easy to do it on the back. So now that's our little box, and now we're going to, we'll decorate this little bit. So you'll have two little pieces like this. So all I'm going to do is put one here and this little bit over the top. So it doesn't matter which, you can cut the straight end. I'm just going to cut in and flag it. You can do whatever you like. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. And this little piece I'm just going to put over the top, and I'm just going to cut it on the side like so. So, but I want to stamp this one and put for you. I hope that's straight. I'm just going to put a bit of glue on this one here. then we're going to add that to our box. So this bit will be covered with flowers, or you can just chop off a little bit more if you want to. So I'm just going to adhere that to the top of the box. So now this is when you will have cut out, stamped all your flower images like so, and then gone off to your emboss and cut machine and cut all your flowers out. So I've done all that ahead of time to save you. Like with this little one, you know you get little die bits cut out like this, and I've just put a tiny bit of glue in the centre of a few of these and just added onto the flower like so. Once you've done that, I just did an extra one to show you what I've done, and then I've just stamped, I'll stamp over the top of these to give the flower the centres. This is not dry, I'm not sure whether I'm using this one. I'll just straighten him back up a little bit. Give it time to dry. So now we're going to decide what we want to put on the outside. So I'm going to do one of these, a dark one, darker flower, and I might use that one. Then I've got the yellow and this one here, or vice versa, doesn't really matter. So we'll need a few dimensionals. So for the first one I'm going to stick flat. I'll just do a bit of glue on there, because we're just going to have to work as we go up. Well, I can shout myself a new packet of them. Then we're just going to get a couple of dimensionals on here to lift this one up a little bit. And then we'll do, so like if you want to go a little bit higher, these off, because I'm going over an area that's already got dimensionals, you can add a second lot of dimensionals to get it a little bit higher. Take all those bits off. And then that just makes it so it just sits a lot better. So, but we also want to do the inside of the box. So these ones here I've just cut out, and these are just glued flat onto the box. So the box looks pretty as well. Do one on both sides, so when you open the box, no matter which side it is, we'll just leave that. I'll set it aside, and that just gives it time to dry while we continue on with the cards. Okay, so I'm going to bring these little cards in. So you will have to, you know, cut out all your flowers, etc. But you'll get little pieces of your cardstock to go on your card. And I've just run these through the embossing folder. So this is the embossing folder I use, Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. And that just gives it a nice little background. I'll show you one of these cards so you know. So it just gives that nice little background with the leaves and that, and the flowers on the front. I'll just put that out of the road. Okay, so with these leaves, I've cut out the leaves. I only wanted two, so I've just cut them down. So I've got this paper transfer on the back. So you will get in your packs, lost it. I dropped it. Oh no, here it is. Sorry, girls. So you will get your green cardstock, and they're all different colours depending on what colour you got, because I just wanted to match it a bit nicer. And you're going to peel off the backing. So this is very, very sticky. So all you're going to do is place it onto your green cardstock like this. And now this becomes a transfer. So if you work that really quite firmly, and then you will get, well, I've made it longer and I'm going to have sticky there now. And then you're going to go to your die cutting machine and just put in whatever leaf, if you haven't got this set, whatever leaf die cut you have or whatever you're going to decorate with, and then just cut it out. And then you will get a piece like this. So what we're going to do is just peel this back off, and these become stickers and they stick really well. So that's what that piece in your kit is for. Okay, so I've just done all that. So now we're just going to make up our card. So the cards are all pre-scored for you, and these are called our note cards. And then we've got our insert, and then I've got all the little bits that what I've decided to use. So with our insert and our envelopes, we're going to stamp. Just put these aside out of my road. And I'm just using the little stems, and I'll do the envelope at the same time. I've made that all sticky. And then I'm going to bring in the little flowers. Better get a colour. Doesn't matter what colour you use, whatever you're just going to match up with the card you're doing. So this just fits nicely in there. And we'll use that for all of our inserts and cards. So I'll just put the insert in. So I won't show you every insert and every envelope, so I'm just going to do the one. I'll just do the fronts for you. So that one's done. Now we're just going to decorate the front. I find Tombow the best when you've embossed your cardstock. I just find your Tombow really adheres your embossed cardstock to your flat base card the best. And you can decorate these any way you like. So just sort of work out what you might like. I'm going to cut these down even further. So all you have to do is peel this back off. And sometimes I'll leave a bit of that in as well. Think, oh well, that looks okay. So I'm going to put a leaf up here. Peel this off. Okay, I might just glue this one down. Dimensional this one up. And this one as well. And on all of the cards, I would just do the same. And just down in the middle, because even if it's for birthday, it's for you, and you can do a greeting on the inside. Oh, look what I did. Smudge me envelope. That's okay. And there's your one card that you've got. So I'll quickly do all the other cards for you. I'm just going to take this one piece of paper off because I've got glue all over it. And bring in the other cards. So I'm just going to decorate the fronts for you. I'm not going to do all the inserts. You don't need to watch me do that. Got the front. This one, I do all the same with the embossing. You can change it up to whatever you like. I love this one. It just looks like how you've painted thick paint onto something. So same thing, I'm going to cut these leaves apart. Take off that back. Might leave a couple of those on. So it's so easy just to stick those on once you've done all the cutting out, instead of like you running your Tombow glue and getting sticky bits all over the place. I mean, I've had Stampin' Up! Brought them out for quite a while, but you just forget to use them. So I put them right next to my die cutting machine now, so I can use them. And you can really decorate these up. You don't have to leave them plain like this. You can put like rhinestones and that in the centre and do them as pretty as you like. Just going to do for you there. And that's that one. I'll show you all once I've finished them. These note cards, just because they're all, you know, they're all scored. You get your envelope. You do need, I think, you don't have to. People don't mind writing in that. I just like the little extra piece in the card and stamped. I just think it looks nice. So this one, same deal here. Now embossed piece in the centre. So it's sort of a nice little gift to give to a friend as well. They can re-gift their cards off then. Just go this way this time. How simple is this? Couple of dimensionals on this one. And how cute does that look? And our last one. Sometimes, see how that's just a tiny little bit out? I just push it back up and then hold it nice and tight, and just use your bone folder and just straighten it off a bit. Get rid of that. So these are super quick, easy cards. But still look great. And it's just like if you've got some of these note cards in your cupboard that you can make up a few quick ones and have on hand. Leave a couple of those in there this time. They stuck to my fingers. Take them ones out. I'll put one flat. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the other colourways. As I was putting colours together, I was thinking that'll be interesting to see what everyone else makes up. So I'll put a reminder out there for you when you're finished to post it on the on my website so we can all have a look. Okay, oops, all our little bits. Last one for you. So don't forget to do all your inserts and envelopes. So I'm just going to clear the deck here a bit and put them all out for you, just to show you all the cards. So can we see those in that frame? Move them over here a little bit. So that's your 4 cards, up to you how you do them. And then this is your box that you've done. So I'll just put them in the envelope. I'll get the envelope for you. So you've got your insert matched with your envelope. And they all fit in your box neatly. And there's your little slider gift box. I'll just bring the others back in. I'm going to put them in here just so you can see all the other different colours. So there's those 2 in the different colours. And then you've got the blue. You've got the black and white. And this is another, the DSP, just with the shaded spruce. So I hope you enjoyed that, ladies, and I'm looking forward to seeing yours, and I'll see you again next month. Thank you. Bye.